Hello and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. All right, and here we are for the MMA Report. And with me, as always, all he does is train, teach class, train, beat that ass, and then he pounds it into the ground afterward. The CEO of Crown Sports and Entertainment, Tyler King. Tyler?
Steven?
And we have a very special guest, the founder of PGF, the Professional Grappling Federation, Brandon McCaghren. Did I say that right?
Man, you were pretty close. And when your last name is McCaghren, you just anything even remotely close works. So
Brandon, like some of the best moments we have on this podcast is Steve
Tyler
trying to pronounce the names of both Spanish, Brazilian, and Eastern Bloc fighters.
Listen, man, I had to go do a commentary in Kazakhstan one time. And one team is from Dagestan, one team's from Kazakhstan, one team's Russian. I'm on the air reading these names for the first time. Total sympathy. Not a problem.
Yeah, it's just that it adds to the humor of it sometimes. Tyler, you have experience in grappling, and I know that you train your fighters as well for it. And Brandon actually wanted to hear a little bit about what you've done in your company. So if you want to share that to start, you can.
Well, I started Crown Sports with a partner. It was originally just slated for athlete representation. He came from the legal world. I obviously was in the fight world. I remember the first thing I explained to him, and I'm sure Jim can attest to this. We're not going to make a lot of money when we're starting out. Okay, it's fine. We still have to pay fees. We still have to pay for licensing, etc., so forth. Okay, fine. That lasted about 6 months, and he dropped out, giving me the entire company. And like I was actually gonna lead it. Obviously, we're going grappling today. We had a big weekend. Ozzy Martin had a big win in the boxing ring over the weekend.
Good.
Turned at a very tidy profit. Like for one show, best number we've ever done. So it's a struggle getting getting it going. The other side of it is the coaching side. I run a personal training business. I run a sports rehabilitation business. I run obviously mixed martial arts, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu training as well. Right now, we have Ozzy. I had Luis Pena. We're a little ambiguous right now. On the grappling side, one of the things that really just intrigued me about PGF is the fact that we're going to actually really give some jiu-jitsu athletes a chance to make sustainable money. Not from sponsorships, because the majority of their money does come from sponsorships. You win giant tournaments, you get paid. But like again, that's only at the adult level. At the black belt level, we have lots of youth athletes, lots of athletes in the masters and elder divisions that aren't really making money. So it just the entire business model that Sean has really intrigues me, just because from my end, being able to see some of these like top of the food chain athletes really get paid and have an outlet and have an avenue for developing that fan base, developing that sponsorship revenue, and actually getting paid to grapple, I think is an amazing thing. So I'm really looking forward to this hour.
Yeah, Brandon, tell us about yourself. Like, how did you initially come up, and how did you get started and get the federation going?
Well, I got started with jiu-jitsu when I was in my early to mid 20s. My wife and I actually started together at the same time. I was just getting fat. She sat me down on the couch and she's like, "This is not going to work for me. Listen, I started
Yes.
class." And I just got obsessed, dude. I got obsessed. I live in North Alabama, which
Brandon, you have a good woman there, Brandon.
brother, I know. 25 years in May.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, God bless you. That's awesome.
Yes, very. I don't know why she continues, but I'm very happy that she does. So,
And was she instrumental in you starting the federation as well?
well, so we've been training partners since day one, right? She's a second degree black belt now. I'm a third degree black belt under Eddie Bravo. And
Well,
then,
you're 10th planet.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
And then,
Wow.
black belts-
You only have like 100 black belts, right?
I don't know how many there are now. There's got to be more than 100 now.
Not that there's not that many 10th planet black belts, though.
Yeah, not in the big scheme of things for sure. It's definitely like a little harder to bust through that system. But yeah, I got my black belt in the gi also under Carlos Machado. So
Of course, that's very standard for 10th planet people, the Machado Association, doing their gi work there. Yeah.
Yeah, and Carlos is the man too. You know what I mean?
Absolute man. Yes.
But yeah, so we started training together. Came up. She was my training partner the whole time. And so when I started stewing, to answer your question, when I started stewing on like, there's got to be a way to pull off a league like an NFL.
Yeah.
The way that in jiu-jitsu, the way that there isn't every other sport has leagues, and teams. Like, why is anybody? And so when I start thinking about this, yeah, dude, she was instrumental in helping me think. Thank God, because letting me do the thinking is not always like the best move.
Join the club, brother. Join the club.
So you've been doing this now. I mean, we're going into season 9. And from the research that I did, season 8 was like a turning point for PGF. What is one decision that you made that you think kind of made the difference, that kind of helped you turn the corner, so to speak? Not that it was anything different, but people have said that it really was an exceptional season, and I'm sure they all were. But
well, you're right. They've all been exceptional in their own way, but season 8 definitely was very special, and it really was like a history mark moment for all of professional jiu-jitsu. I think when we look back on it, we'll think of season 8 as the first season of professional jiu-jitsu in a lot of ways. 30, 40 years from now, I think it'll be pivotal like that. But what we did is, so when we founded this thing in 2020, was week to week. The idea was just, all right, it's me and my buddy, Keelan, my other co-founder. We're here at the gym in Alabama. Who can we get that'll kind of help us run this experiment and give us something, like something to test with? And so every day, everybody would come in, they'd run a couple of matches. We did that for like 8 or 9 weeks in a row. And then that was season 1. And it was just a bunch of locals and my friends, and just, but people thought that the idea was cool. And let's try it out. Right?
Was it at a team format at that time?
No, we didn't really know how we wanted to do the teams yet. We knew we wanted to do that, but
we had to
start cutting our teeth a little smaller than that in the beginning. We added teams for the first time in season 2, but after season 1, running it every week like that, I'm paying for this out of my pocket. There's no money. I can't do that. And so season 2, we brought everybody in for a week, and we sort of filmed it like The Ultimate Fighter, and then we aired it every week. And then I was like, that's good, but that's not live sports, right?
Right.
So what we started doing with season 3 is everybody's here for a week, and it's live. And so it's just, instead of week after week, it was day after day, and we just ran the whole season.
And you knocked it all out.
Yeah. Because, dude, we could just compress our learning cycle so much like that.
Of course.
And so all the lessons that need to get out of the way and all the learnings that need to get out of the way while nobody's watching, we could knock those out, And so we started slowly just grassroots building this thing. Season 3 was the first time we had 4 teams, but they were sponsored, right?
Right.
A sponsor pays for the team. A sponsor pays for the team. Season 8 was the first time where we had a franchise that was owned the way the Cowboys are owned by Jiu.
That's what I saw. That I really liked that.
And so, Kevin Lucas from New Hope Regeneration, he threw down and became the first franchise owner in jiu-jitsu history. Right there, coming into season 8, he owns Vegas Kings. Now we got the Alabama Twisters.
Right.
Owned by 9. We got the Philadelphia Phenoms. We got the Colorado Wolverines. So 4 franchises, all owned. Everybody with skin in the game for the very first time. And so, dude, I'm fired up.
Now, did you have any experience on the production side of things? How it would work as far as filming it?
Oh, me? No. God,
but
no. You don't.
You
want
had
me
a company that took care of that, the filming of it.
Well, now we do, but when we started out, it was just, I told you about Keelan Lawyer, kind of my co-founder here. We were just like, dude, grab a iPhone, start learning, and that's where it started. And a lot, in a lot of ways, I think that was a blessing, man, because he didn't do things the way you're supposed to do them. Like, he would get down on the mat and he put the camera on a gimbal, and so and because he trains jiu-jitsu, he knows the angle that you're. You know what I mean? And so
I was literally about to say that. That makes so much sense.
Tyler, stop interrupting him. Go ahead.
No, that was good. I mean, it does make sense. Like, he was able to see things from a perspective, and because he had the camera on the mat, because of our limited resources in the beginning, to be honest, he kind of created this way to put jiu-jitsu onto the screen that really nobody had done before. And so it gave us like an interesting, like, grassroots following, even though we didn't have big name athletes at that time. Like, people were interested in like the format and the way it was shot and just kind of the way we were doing things. It didn't really wasn't the same as what other people were doing, good or bad, right? It was just like, oh, that's obviously different. That's the PGF.
Have you had repeat fighters from year to year? Because I know there's a draft, and I love the way if you could explain a little bit about the draft that I saw this year. It was with an auction format. Kind of how does that work? Because it's not like a first pick, second pick, third pick. it's an auction format. So I always wondered, like they announced the fighter and the owners bid for them. Is that?
Yeah, each of the teams has a salary cap, and we do it with an auction draft. And so instead of the team coming up and letting everybody they pick, the athlete comes up, and the owners and the coaches and the managers, they bid, and the athlete goes to the team with the highest bid. And you just do it strategically because you got to stay within your salary cap. You got to pay every league minimum. So you got to stay within. It makes it a lot of fun, honestly, to watch them. It makes good TV.
Because I always read about the NBA and how they're trying to solve their tanking problem. And when I saw the auction, that was the first thing I thought. I said they should just do an auction. I said that'll solve tanking in a minute.
Man, I sympathize with that NBA. I'm a huge NBA fan, and I'm a Chicago. Okay. I'm a Bulls man, and so we're right in the middle of the tanking discussion right now. We just traded out the whole team at the. Don't get me started, dude.
I won't even talk about the Celtics.
yeah, I know, but I thought that was great. Basically, as far as season 8 goes, which athlete or team would you say underperformed relative to the hype? And I mean, does it fall more on the team, or does it fall more on the certain athlete that they have?
Obviously, the Tropic Thunders last season had like an epically bad season. they came in. They weren't one of the franchise teams. They were one of the sponsored teams, but they had an epically bad season. But just like any sport, over the course of the season, you're going to take injuries, and like, what are you going to do, man? You got to bring the guys in off the bench and try to play them. And so they got wrecked early in the season with injuries, and then their top pick underperformed, and it just all compounded.
All right. Go ahead. I'd love to piggyback off that. So the one thing I really noticed is you've just had a plethora of names in the sport, guys like Kyle Beam, AJ Ashkenham, etc. Like, you've had some really big names in the sport. Also, with the season being run like an NBA or an NFL franchise, how's it been having those big names? Would you say it was a mutual thing with the rub you get from the athlete would give the league the rub, and being in the league would give the athlete the rub, so to speak? And dealing with a salary cap and actually paying athletes, what kind of difficulties did that present in the format of jiu-jitsu, which markedly is very different from the 4 or 5 major pro sports when you're running a franchise in this fashion?
Well, there's 7 fighters per team too, I believe.
Yes, 7 athletes per team. Everybody's getting paid a portion of the pie, so it doesn't all go to the top guy. The question about the athletes like Agazarm, Canuto, BJ Barch, some of the guys,
Kyle Beam,
that are like at the top of the sport that have come through. Man, it's been a super blessing having those guys around, to be honest with you. Done a lot, and I think that the PGF was really good for them too, because they're getting exposed multiple times. They're getting exposed for a whole season rather than just coming in, hitting a tournament in one weekend, hoping that they're the guy who gets paid. Because at a regular jiu-jitsu tournament, even if it's a money tournament, one guy's going home happy and 15 dudes are going home sad.
Exactly.
What I mean? Paid to get there, and they're going home empty-handed. Just the top guy takes the money,
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
We're trying to build it in a way that it's sustainable. Right. We got to build this in a way that it's like the whole ecosystem, industry, infrastructure. It's never existed in jiu-jitsu, and so a lot of this for us has really been just building the industry, building the infrastructure, so that everybody can get to a place where they can at least make a living, and not just the athletes, but You got to think about staff. You got to think about the production team. There,
Mm-hmm.
guys who decide they want to run a podcast talking about the PGF have got to get enough eyeballs on it to make money. Like, it's a whole ecosystem where the money circulates and like everybody gets paid. And so setting that up from scratch, there's no playbook to do that. So it's been, it's been wild. But, talking about those guys that come in to the league that already have a big name, everybody's always expecting those guys to be, this is going to be a dunk. PGF's got some guys you haven't heard of before, some up-and-comers, some young guys. These guys are going to come in and dunk on everybody, but it's never worked out that way before. It's just a different beast. Being good for one night, being good for one weekend is a completely different thing than being a professional for an entire season. And that's what has been exposed with the PGF, I think, as far as like what kind of athlete. Like, it's just a different ask. Of the
like you also, like, I'm piggybacking off that. Athletes need to learn how to train differently. When you're training for a super fight or a tournament, you're building, peaking. Then you have the tournament. Then you're off for however many weeks, eating like a jerk and barely training. Where as this, I liken it back to my NFL days, my college football days. So Steve can relate. You have that training camp. You have to kind of get yourself into that tip top for the beginning, and then it's just peaks and valleys the entire time. Keeping your body in shape, learning how to practice the right way. Much like football and Jiu Jitsu, you have to game plan different ways for different opponents. So I actually also really like how guys would have advanced notes of their opponents as opposed to tournaments when you find out day of, and being able to like set up game plans. I'm sure you saw some amazing sequences, amazing submissions, just based on the guys being able to game plan for specific opponents.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference knowing who's coming up the next week for you.
You're facing, right?
And like you have to learn to be a professional, to be in a season in a league. Like in a weekend tournament, maybe you go out there and you get caught in an arm lock and your arm is stretched all the way out, and you decide, look, I just got to push through this one match, and maybe I just got one more, and it's just tonight.
Yep.
You're willing to take the pop to get the dub, and you get the dub, and you go home. And look, your arm's not broken, but it doesn't work right for the next 3 weeks.
Exactly.
In the PGF, you got to play 3 times again next week. You can't do stuff like that. That's not how a professional operates. That's the way a weekend warrior operates.
Exactly.
And we're trying to take this thing to the pro level, and so a lot of that's been a learning curve, not just for us, but for the athletes as well.
Now, is there like certain weight limits like there are in MMA?
Oh yeah.
Oh, there are. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So the fights, there's 7 fighters. Are they all pretty much in different weight classes?
No, they're all in the same weight class.
So they are.
Yeah, we do 1 weight class per season right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
So this coming up, everybody's 175.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. What athlete would you say overperformed and did exceptionally well? And would you say was possibly the MVP of each team? And then which athlete would you say would you call the MVP of the entire PGF?
Well, last season, Jet Thompson was the #1 draft pick, and he kind of started off slow, comes out, he ends up winning the entire thing, right? So obviously you got to be like, way to go, Jet. And then he was one of the athletes. He's playing for the Kings again this season, so he's back in this season. Last season, I think about Rafael Fajeda out of Salt Lake City. He played for Alabama Twisters last season. And he's not back this season because the weight class is up. He's a little too small for this weight class. But I really think that nobody really knew his name before last season. But, man, he's popped off and really made a name for himself on the scene. Landon Elmore is another guy. He was on the championship team last season with Dollimer. And he was just phenomenal. He came in, he was like, I think he was 19 years old when the season started. And he's just wiping everybody out so fast on the legs. I think he had more under 1 minute finishes than anybody in the league last year. He's gone on to do a couple of matches with UFC BJJ. He leaves the week after PGF. He goes home and takes the EBI title. So he's been on a tear for sure. Those are Derek Rayfield, a guy who came in off the bench last season and made it all the way to the finals. He's back this season playing for the Philadelphia Phenoms. So yeah, I think there's a lot of fun talent. And the way that the PGF format is set up is the fastest, most exciting rule set in jiu-jitsu. And so even if it's a couple of athletes that you might not have heard of before, the format is set up to where there is just absolutely no stalling. We put them on a 20-second shot clock. Most of the things sick about like, jiu-jitsu's boring. Eliminate that. We got to make it cool enough for mothers-in-law and grandmas to watch. So we put them on a second shot clock. If you're not moving, you're out of there.
Brandon, so like piggybacking off that, what exactly is the rule set for most matches? And is there any modifications to the rule in championship matches?
Yeah, great question. So the regular season, the rules work like this. 6-minute match, no points whatsoever. So there's no points for a takedown. There's no points for a mount or a guard pass or a back take or whatever. The only way to score in the PGF is to finish your opponent. Submission only. Now, because there's 15 matches, this athlete's going to get 15 matches over the course of the season. How you finish is how you score points to make the playoffs. So if you finish the opponent with some sort of joint lock, an arm lock, a wrist lock, a heel hook, a straight ankle lock, that gets you 3 points towards the playoff. We call that a break. A break is worth 3 points.
Okay.
But any attack at the neck, a choke,
Right,
is 6 points. We call that a kill. That's worth twice as much. So how you finish the guy matters. And then any submission that you land in under a minute, we give you an extra point. So you could score 3, 4, 6, 7, depending on how quickly you score. And if it goes to a draw, both athletes get 0 points towards the playoff.
Oh,
now
okay.
are there rounds for each fight?
6 minutes.
6 minutes, that's it. You're in and out.
Yep.
Wow. So that's really fast. So when you have team versus team, it's those fights, and you either finish or you draw, and that's how you determine which team wins.
That's right.
And then the team with the most points is the one that are the ones that go to the playoffs or championships.
So there's a team championship and there's an individual.
There's both. Okay.
So the team that accumulates most points at the end of the regular season becomes the team champion.
Right.
But the top 8 individuals from the season, regardless of what team they're on, go to the playoffs. And then we have a one-night 8-man bracket to determine the winner.
All right. Wow. That's great format.
Yeah, it's very interesting. How do you balance matching, the jiu-jitsu and grappling aspect with, you obviously have to mix in some entertainment aspect with it, as far as maybe having your fighters be a little bit more flamboyant. I mean, that helps to draw crowds, that helps to draw higher viewership, but I know there's a fine line between it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what, man? Luckily, this show isn't just run by this old redneck right here. If it was, we would probably still be laid up in Decatur, Alabama in a warehouse trying to do this. One of our partners is Zoltan Bathory. He's the guitar player for Five Finger Death Punch, founding member of Five Finger Death Punch. And so he and Heather Gracie, the queen of the Gracie family.
Wow.
Both are owners of the league as well. So after season 5, Zoltan and Heather come in, and they've been just a huge boost in helping me to think about it from an entertainment perspective. Obviously, Zoltan, he's had like 13 consecutive number 1s on the rock chart right now.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And so he's built a career. He's got Arena Rock, international rock band, like 10 times platinum. He understands the entertainment business.
Yes.
I could never see it from, And so I've been really lucky to have him come aboard and have Heather come aboard just with her ties with the Gracie family. She brings Hoist Gracie comes out and puts the belt on when you win the championship. I mean,
Jeez.
you know what I mean? Like it's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it is.
It's a big deal, and that's really helped, I think, to put the PGF in front of some extra eyeballs when they came
Of
on.
course.
And they had the background of understanding entertainment. And then Heather has the background. She understands the fight and jiu-jitsu game deeply. It's really created the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Blood. Yeah.
Having them come in has been crucial, man. They brought it out to Las Vegas. They put a big prize down so that these athletes could actually get paid. And it wasn't just an idea that we were doing anymore. So really, it's a huge part of it. And they're the reason that has kind of leveled up.
All right, we're going to jump to a video of our sponsors quick. We'll be right back. Down south, we have Julius Williams and the Trench Mob, located in Decatur, Georgia. They train offensive and defensive linemen. They compete in 5v5 tournaments and college showcase camps across the country. They have sent kids to schools like Florida, Florida State, Miami, Clemson, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, just to name a few. If you want to be trained by the best, you work with the Trench Mob. Julius has a virtual program. He can train you anywhere in the country, and they will make sure they have the highest percentage of kids that go Division I. Go to their website, trenchmobfootball.com, and sign up now. Ned Von Young owns Freshfold Laundry Company located in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. High-end laundry service. You book online. You put your laundry out in a clear plastic bag. They pick it up, wash, dry, fold it for you in 48 hours. They have an expedited service that can do it faster. They also offer an online subscription model, weekly or bi-weekly. So you can have your laundry done that way whenever you want. They have deals for college students as well. So make sure to check out their website. It is my-freshfoldlaundry.com. All right, and we are back, and Steve screwed up the website for Ned Von. It is my-freshfold.com, not laundry. So I always have to say that until I create a new video. So you have such, I mean, it's a rawness, it's a physicality that is built up over time. How would you say you have done that? I mean, because this has gone on for 9 seasons, which is exceptional. And the growth of the Federation has been exceptional. But I mean, it's the rawness, it's the physicalness, it's the type of athlete that you're bringing in. And, you know, you're dealing with different weight classes. Is that something that is going to continue? I mean, each year you're going to do something different, or are you looking to try to bring the same fighters back if you can?
Well, we definitely, I like to have a recurring cast of characters, man. I think that's one of the cool things about a league and about that was actually missing from the sport before we kind of came onto the scene, is like there's no way to build a storyline. Like we were talking about the Bulls a second ago with the NBA. Like, yo, I've been a Bulls fan since I'm 7 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen the good and I've seen the bad, and we're right in the middle of the bad right now, dog. But those are my dudes, though. I buy NBA League Pass. I don't game. You know what I'm saying? Well, why am I doing that if I know they're not even going to make the playoffs? I know they're not going to make the playoffs because that's my dudes, and I've been following that story. I've been watching this soap opera for the last 30 years, 35 years of my life. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm coming back to the table to see how we do. What is it that's cool? You remember the Wide World of Sports intro where it's like the real victory and the agony of defeat, dude. I want to go with an athlete on that journey, dude. I want to take that ride with him, and having a league and teams and recurring characters like Jet Thompson or the former champion, the season 1 champion, Elijah Carlton. He's back this season one. He was the regular season champ in season 3. He won season 5. He's back again playing for the Twisters in season 9. So like having Derek Rayfield is back with the Phenoms, like having these same guys coming back again and again, like that the fans love and that they love the story of. And even if that guy doesn't win, that's my boy, ride or die. Like that's super important. And there's no other thing in jiu-jitsu that offers that.
No. And I mean, it is great to have those storylines just like that. Where exactly is it filmed in Las Vegas? Where are you out of?
Well, we got a little secret location over in Las Vegas. You know, we have a sound studio. We rent a sound studio, and we just house that thing up in there. PGF HQ. We set up shop for 3 months, and then that just becomes HQ.
Is that like that? Is that like the same like complex where like all those shows are filmed? Because I filmed in Las Vegas a couple times. I did a reality show out there. I did 2 reality shows, one being The Ultimate Fighter. But they have that large, basically looks like a. I think it's right outside Henderson, where they just have it's just a giant lot of what looks like warehouses, but are actually sound stages.
No, it's definitely not over there. I know the spot you're talking about, but
Yeah.
we got, you know, with Zoe being connected through 5 Finger Death Punch, we got connected to like a pretty high end place that you know, like when you're going to go on an international tour, this is where you go and do your stage rehearsl. And
Got it.
You just basically take that over for about 3 months.
What do you think? What do you think it is about rock guys in jiu-jitsu? You know, you're talking about your corner. We talk about the Maynard Lee Singer Tool recently got his black belt. I've seen this trend where guys in the entertainment and music industry have really gravitated towards the sport. What do you attribute that to?
Dude, that's a great question. And you know what I think a lot of it is, man? I think it's a chance for them to be one of the boys.
Yeah,
You know
I see that.
Like,
yes. No, I know exactly what you mean.
Think about like a Tom Hardy, for instance, who just got his brown belt in jiu-jitsu. We're talking about Bane, dude. This guy fought Batman. You know what I mean? Anywhere he can't go to Walmart, he can't go anywhere without getting, you know, harassed, I'm sure. But when he goes out onto the jiu-jitsu mats, he's just another one of the boys, and it doesn't matter that he fought Batman. He's got to fight me for the next 6 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of these guys crave that, and jiu-jitsu is like only things that really is truly like who you are off the mat. Almost doesn't matter in the moment. Like obviously, we don't want
a very true meritocracy.
Yeah, but it's a true meritocracy.
Do you sell tickets for a gate, or so you don't rely on gate tickets?
Totally invitation only.
And then where are you people can watch? What platform do you have? Is it on the website?
So yes, you can go to pgf.world to watch.
Right. Okay.
But we're going to stream everything live and free on YouTube. And we just had a deal with Kick that we're going to be doing some.
You're going to be doing stuff with Kick. Yeah. That's great. Kick is really grown in popularity. Are there any? We want it to be free. We want it to be free for people to watch. Like, how can I throw it behind a wall and expect it to grow? That's right.
Like stepping over $100 to grab $1. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
I love that analogy.
Yeah. Are there any tweaks that are coming with the rules specifically for this season?
No, not with the rules. The rules of the game are pretty set. I feel like we got that dialed in. I would say season 7 was the first time I was like, oh, okay, maybe we need a couple of tweaks here, but these rules work. And so season 8 dialed it in tighter. Season 9 is just going to be us doing a better job of the existing rules. But the format and the structure, as we continue to grow, like we're expanding. We're doing a 4-team expansion coming up for next season. We'll be we're growing fast, dude. I want to be I'm trying to build the NFL. Can't have the NFL with 4 teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, that's the ultimate goal. We're gonna pop 32 of these teams into different cities across the country, maybe across the world, and we're gonna have true real
All right.
league.
I have a two-part question. One, where will you be expanding to? And with that, is Boston your plans?
He can't tell you
Listen, I hope it's in the plan. You know,
All
really,
right.
honestly, it's up to the people in the. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
for like the Vegas team is owned by Kevin Lucas, but
Yeah.
the Philadelphia team is owned by an individual, Lauren Barone. But the Alabama team is owned by 9 guys who are like, we want to try to pull
pitch
this.
in on it, right?
We're going to try. So they put together an ownership group.
Ownership
Just,
group.
you know, like the Green Bay Packers is owned by the city.
By the
That's
city, yeah.
fans of the
Okay.
team.
My second question. Now, you're really dialed in with this team format. Have you entertained the possibility of adding super fights with big names in the sport, like maybe throwing, like doing like a Gordon Ryan versus Gal Bowery match, like if that was something that was feasible, as like a part of like your championship extravaganza, etc. The way they NFL does the Super Bowl and adds like a great halftime show.
Here's what we generally do on the finale is we use that as an opportunity to put on event matches for the ladies divisions. And so what we the ladies title fights at the playoffs. So we had a full ladies season at season 4 alongside the guys. But in the end, every season right there at the playoff, we do like this season, our 105-pound champion Maka Vickers is returning. She's going to be defending her title against Nora Naomi Schultz. And our 125-pound champion is Nakia Jackson. She's the 4-time champion. She's coming back to defend her belt as well. And so, you know, like I was telling you that I started jiu-jitsu with my wife, right? So she's been training partners. My daughter's 17 years old. She's a purple belt. So I got 2 women in my house that are better at jiu-jitsu. And so my 2 favorite jiu-jitsu athletes are both women. So doing something, take that opportunity at the end of the season to at least try to get some title fights out here for the ladies divisions is really important. And so that's how I choose to handle those final events rather than trying to bring in big names.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
You're building names. I
mean, and it's hard to split the money out equitably amongst the rest of the athletes if I'm throwing it all at the biggest name. Like, let's just put together the best product and let's get the best rule set and the most fun to watch athletes, and let's pay these guys what they're worth instead of just pitching another X number of dollars at guys winning all the tournaments. You know what I'm saying?
And very forward thinking.
You're the founder, you're the commissioner, but it's a lot to juggle. I mean, do you see yourself as a promoter? I mean, a rule maker or a guardian of jiu-jitsu, and which causes you maybe the most internal conflict, having to have all those responsibilities?
Yeah, you're right, dude. It's an all-consuming mission. It's taking over my life for the better and for the worse, right? But I definitely don't see myself as a promoter. I don't think of like the UFC, boxing, all of the combat sports run on the promoter model, right?
They do.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't ever call Bud Selig or Adam Silver.
You're right. Yeah.
You would never be like, oh, they're the best. Those guys are commissioners. They run the team.
Evil Roger. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those guys are in charge of driving the sport forward, not driving the business forward. Like, yes, we drive the business forward, but I got to take care of these teams. I got to take care of these athletes. I got to take care of shareholders. I got to do the things that are the best for the future of the sport. I got to think about not making enough money to get to the next show. And that's what I think the difference is in a promoter and a commissioner. And yeah, dude, I have to say, I do feel like, I don't want to say the burden, but like I welcome the burden of, I think that.
Yeah, you like it.
Format is going to be able to do what the sport needs. And so.
Yeah, but like you clearly care about the sport and care about growing the sport in a commercially viable way is what I think.
Yeah, a commercially viable way, because I think it's important, dude. I think the sport is important to young people. It's important to those who don't know how to defend themselves. Like, ultimately, what do I want? I want everybody to do jiu-jitsu because it's good for you and because it's beneficial to your life and because of the life-changing effects that it can have on you and your family. And and so to me, jiu-jitsu is super important, and I do feel a responsibility to try to represent it in a wholesome and effective and positive way, because it's important to me that people get involved in it.
Tyler, I mean, he said it's basically 1 6-minute round per fighter, and you have to get a finish. So if you were fighting in this type of format, what would the challenge be for you, knowing you have 1 round, you have 6 minutes, it's longer than a normal round, and to get points, you have to get a finish? What would your strategy end up being?
So for me, just speaking from me and my game and as my weight class, I am a IBJJF ultra heavyweight on the low end of the spectrum. It's 229 and up, and I'm in the 245 level. Yeah. So, I don't know how you do the heavyweight division, if it's open, if you have a cap, but it's obviously a sport where you have to come out aggressive. You can't just stall, try time. Like, it's a 6-minute match. If guys getting tired in 6 minutes, I mean, maybe in the heavyweight division, but generally you're looking at some of these new breed of heavyweights, guys like Kyle Beam. Those guys aren't getting tired. So for me, it would be looking to get a takedown, look to get top position and advance my position, look for finishes, look to get the back, look if I am unable to get a takedown, look to get a leg entanglement, look to get a front headlock, look to just break the fight down, get to the mat, and create as much action as possible in a short amount of time as possible, just so I could create those openings for finishing opportunities. I assume, and I've been around the sport for over a decade. I've competed at world level tournaments, and he was talking about the problem with tournaments. The big, like he said, like, there's no strategy. My brain's not gonna get in the way when all I have that day is a 6-minute match versus another guy that's top of the food chain. I'm gonna be looking to impose my will and be as exciting as possible. Look to create as many finishing opportunities as possible and not get a draw and get those points.
Right, exactly. And with the team format, who is responsible for setting the actual matchups? Because it's the same weight class. How did the teams work together and match people up, or do you do the actual matchups?
I build the schedule, but it works out to where you play every other athlete that's not on your team over the course of the season.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, everyone faces everyone pretty much throughout the course of the season.
Everybody that's not on your team.
Right. Okay.
Playoff, if 2 guys from your team make the playoff, you might have to face that guy in the playoff.
That makes things interesting. And do the teams, practice and work together cohesively pretty well?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. And that's a big part of sports, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think about, like, some guys are the right fit on some teams. They're the wrong fit. Like, I remember when Charles Haley was playing with the 49ers. I loved the 49ers growing up.
Yeah.
When he was playing the 49ers, he was a monster. But he was not a good fit in the locker room.
He was out of his mind.
Yeah, he was not a good fit in the locker room, and they sent him packing, and the Cowboys were like, Jerry Jones picked him up at the airport. He's like, you're going to do just fine here. And he did, and he won the title with them. So he was a great fit over there, a terrible fit in San Francisco, and that's going to be the same thing with these teams. They're staying together. Like the athletes from the Kings, they've all got a house together for 6 weeks. They're going to practice together every day for 6 weeks. Phenoms, their own house for 6 weeks. So, team chemistry is mega important.
And how does the pay structure work for these teams? Are they paid by, a team victory? Are they paid individually? Are they paid the same amount?
There's a couple of different ways. The athlete's base salary is based on how much they got drafted for.
I saw that right in the auction, which I think is awesome.
That's your base, like not walking away from this experience with less than what you got drafted for.
All right.
But in the league itself, we have a very generous bonus structure.
Okay.
And we do it with money bags. So me, Keelan, Zoltan, Heather, we stuffed $500 in a little bag. And then we each got 10 of them, and we got them to give out. And so if somebody does something we like, instead of punishing bad behavior, we reward behavior we like. And so you might get a money bag thrown at you in the middle of the match just for
That's awesome.
We structure it that way. We got a lot of bonus money to give away that way, tens and tens of thousands of dollars.
Brother, that sounds like a tax nightmare, but
well, it's all documented. And then the winning team gets a big prize as well. And then the individual that wins the playoff gets another prize. And then they get popped in the chat as well. So like if you're in the chat and you're like, yo, give Jet Thompson $50 on me, boom, I make sure that money goes to the athlete as well.
Wow.
Yeah. We have one more sponsor and we will finish up. And I have a few more questions. Finally, we have James Whitfield of Luther James Insurance. For the last 3 years, James has dedicated himself to the art of financial services. He specializes in life insurance and insurance policies. He will save you money, make you a boatload of money, and do so tax-free. He also specializes in retirement planning because we know the stress that goes into thinking about retirement. How much am I going to need? For how long? Do we have enough? Because fear of the unknown is real. To contact James, go to www.lutherjamesinsurance.com. All right. So going back to season 8, was there any, specific athlete or a specific match that you can turn to and say that this was incredible, this helped the product, this was monumental for the Federation?
Yeah, for sure, man. There was a couple of them, and each of those matches involved the same guy. His name was Hafe El Fajeda. I brought him up a little.
That's the one you said was an unknown, right?
Young, crazy kid with this crazy, like curly hair, just bouncing all over the place. He looks, and he had such an incredible energy and such an unbelievable forward pace. So he had a match against Nick Soft, SAHF Soft, and that was the first match where we were like, oh my god! And they both engaged for a full 6 minutes. It was just technique after technique. It's a pace that I've never, ever seen before in any other form of jiu-jitsu. And then Hoffa came back and he did that with like 2 other matches as well. His match with Derek Rayfield was like that as well. Just unbelievable. So, and all of those matches with Hoffa last season were major hits. Like,
yeah, he stepped up.
He's going to be a superstar for a long time, man.
And going into season 9, what are your expectations? Who are you looking forward to seeing again, or seeing that's new that may be coming on and burst on the scene?
Man, we got a couple of vets returning. So we got Jet Thompson, the reigning champion, returns this season. He's playing for the Vegas King. A lot of people feel like he's the top favorite, but you got Elijah Carlton playing for the Twisters, 3-time champion, coming back to reclaim his throne. That's going to be just a natural rivalry.
Yeah.
That Derek Rayfield last season comes in off the bench, makes it all the way to the finals, loses in the final in overtime to Jet. He's the team captain for Philadelphia this season. And then the Wolverines have got we call him Officer Grimy. He's a crazy man, Jonathan Wilson. He's leading the Colorado Wolverines team, and so they've got a lot to prove as well. And there's a new kid that's coming in playing for the Wolverines named Jaden Groner, and I think that's the name to watch out for. You got Melanson coming in playing for the Phenoms. He's got the biggest following of anybody on the league this season. He's a PGF rookie, but he's a veteran outside the PGF, and so the Phenoms him in. He's gonna do some things, I think, to get some people's attention as well. Travis Haven, another new guy coming in. He won one of the qualifiers to get in. So we do 6 qualifiers to get in the season. And Travis Haven won the tournament that we did in Tennessee, and he wiped everybody out. He was the top draft pick season for the Alabama Twisters. He was the first draft pick. And so I think a lot of people are going to be surprised to see what he can do as well.
I mean, I'm going to throw my name behind Sean Melanson. I've competed alongside him on several shows for Enigma Jiu Jitsu. And he's just, I've watched his growth over the past several years. And he was already good to start with. He's just become a monster. I'm really interested in seeing what he does.
He's a monster, dude. And, he's like a lot of these guys in this 175 division, they're long, they're lean, they're athletic, but they're long. They're built like a basketball player. Sean is built like a tank, brother. He's all compact, ready to send you for a ride. And I think that he's going to be a lot more physical than maybe some of these other guys are used to. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic. The question coming into this particular pace and this particular rule set, how's that style going to translate? I don't know yet, but we will see come March.
And then people who want to compete and join PGF, you just said you have qualifying tournaments, and that's how they're able to be eligible for the draft. Is that how it works?
Yes.
When does that start typically, and how many do you have?
That typically starts in October. For this next season, each of the teams will have 8 teams coming into this next season. Each of those teams is going to host their own qualifying tournament, and they're going to start trying to pick up their roster ahead of time from those qualifier tournaments. And then they're going to, whatever they aren't able to fill through the qualifiers, they're going to fill in the draft.
Okay. And
but if you in the draft, you either you got to have me reach out to you personally and invite you, or you got to do the qualifier.
Right. So if Tyler has someone who is interested in this, would he have to be invited to one of the qualifiers, or do they pay a fee for the qualifier?
Anybody can enter the qualifier. Any experience, any belt rank, any whatever. The qualifiers are open. We really host it a lot like just an open tryout, basically, but it's just set up as a tournament. Yeah. And
that's probably how you get some of the no names who've never gotten an opportunity before.
Yeah, a lot of guys come through the qualifiers, and people are expecting this guy to win the qualifier, and it just doesn't play out that way because there's a kid hiding in Asheville, North Carolina, the dog that wants that thing worse than you do. You know what I mean? And that guy gets
Right. So season 9 begins March 4th, correct?
Right.
And it runs through, is it April 1st?
April 1st is the end of the regular season. April 8th playoff.
Okay. So Tyler, I mean, this is great. I mean, we can definitely cover this and watch it. It's right on YouTube, and it's going to be on Kick. We have both. If there's any athletes, any of the fighters who want to come on and be interviewed, we'll do everything we can to promote and help Tyler gets a really good audience with our MMA report on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I'm sure you guys have a YouTube channel as well. So I can definitely send you this so as a collaborator. So if you want to use it, you're welcome to. But this sounds I've watched UFC recently, and it hasn't been as exciting, or the cards seemed to not be as good. I mean, they had a couple early on when they started, but the fight nights, they have a roster of 500 guys, and I haven't heard of half of them. So that's why I like this. And I like that you're giving guys an opportunity. I love the team format aspect, and I love that there's 6 minutes, finish or no finish. I think that makes things much more interesting. Wouldn't you say, Tyler?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because it's different.
It's different from, you look at, what's top of the food chain right now in professional grappling. You have to say ADC submission tournament is, that they're pretty much considered the best grapplers in the world right now. The ADCC champion obviously is Gordon Ryan, considered the best no-gi grappler of all time. But you have a 20-minute match followed by 2 10 or 15-minute overtimes. I mean, you're looking at close to an hour to get through one match, where in this format you just don't have that problem. And guys are really going for the finish, where in ADCC a guy could get a penalty point, and he could be playing for the decision win for half an hour just based on that penalty. So the promotion of just the finish is pretty much the big thing. And honestly, I've seen lots of promotions try to, really push the finish, push the pace, and this format actually seems like it's the best formula that's come onto the scene ever.
Yeah, that's what I like the most, because it drives me nuts.
I have to agree with you. It is the best solution. I mean, I really do think that we've got the as far as like making jiu-jitsu something that is understandable and watchable.
Consumable, yes.
I think that's a solved problem.
And you obviously have commentators, broadcasters that can explain everything during the show.
Oh yeah, me. So look, he talked about ADCC. I was the commentator at T-Mobile at ADCC.
Oh my God!
Oh wow!
I worked
Okay.
for UFC Fight Pass for years as their on-air color commentator. I've done EDI. I've done more color commentary than anybody on the planet. So when it came
to the game,
I'm sure I'm going to be sitting on the mic.
That's awesome.
And actually, Jason Anik is on the commentary team. And that's John Anik. And then TJ DeSantis. If you've been following MMA for the last 20 years, you know the name of TJ DeSantis. That's the 3-man broadcast team.
I was literally about to say, hey, if you want to bring in someone else, but you got that covered. Holy shit.
That's great to hear. So this is really exciting. PGF March 4th, YouTube. They have a YouTube channel you can watch on Kick. We will absolutely be covering the shows. They're every Friday night, correct? Or Wednesday. Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night on YouTube or Kick. What time does it usually start?
We kick off at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So 4 p.m. Vegas time. Gotcha. We get the ball rolling. You're going to get 30 matches every night with about an 88% finish rate. 88% of the time
impressive.
Going to a finish. So all that stuff he was talking about with some of the other tournaments, we've solved for that problem.
Yes. See, Tyler, that's what I always complain about with UFC, because they get up 2 rounds and then it ends up being a decision. It drives me nuts. I want finishes. So this is where you're going to get them. This is where you're going to get the action.
But this seems like you've solved the problem, because hey, 50 minutes is a little longer, but the UFC format is very consumable. That was always the problem with jiu-jitsu on a mass stage. It seems like you've really solved that problem as far as making it a consumable product for the masses.
Yeah, I mean it's quick pace, 6 minutes, fights. You're going and going and going. I think that's great, and the entertainment value is going to be great. And absolutely. Any of your fighters who would love to come on, we'd love to have them, and we will absolutely cover your shows. That'll be exciting every Wednesday night. Well, so
I appreciate the love and support, fellas. Steve,
we want to help you grow. Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, I'm very excited about this. So
we are
pumped up to talk about it.
We are too. And I'm telling you,
Absolutely.
we need to send Adam Silver an email. You have solved tanking with the auction process.
Call your boy Adam.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Tyler King, Crown Sports Entertainment, all he does is train, teach class, and beat that ass. And
Big shout. Hey, give me my moment. Big shout out. Ozzy Barn with his big win.
Ozzy
Barn with his big win over the weekend. Big shout out to Cage Titans for putting on the biggest mixed martial arts show in Boston history outside of the UFC.
Yeah. And thank you again, Brandon. I'm not going to try to say your last name and screw it up, but the founder.
McCaghren, Steve. McCaghren.
I know Tyler has to do this for me. He has to spell it out. But thank you so much for coming on. We would definitely love to check in with you again, and we are excited for your season to start March 4th, and we will absolutely cover it every week. Well, I'm excited to watch it now. I mean, this is going to be great. But thank you for coming on. We wish you the best. And Brandon, I don't know if you know this, but just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.